And joining us now, Nik Nanos, the chief data scientist and founder of Nanos Research. Good morning, Nick. How are you?
Fine, Roger. How you doing?
I can't complain except for the cold and the snow and all that stuff, but we're not going to do that, are we? We're going to talk Liberal Party and the ballot support for them.
Yep.
Or do we want to?
It's just one of those things where it's pretty clear that the Liberals and Justin Trudeau are both on the ropes. The thing is that in the weekly tracking, we look at the national numbers all the time, but with the Conservatives at 47 and the Liberals at 21. What we have to remember, Roger, is that when we look across the country in all the different regions, the Conservatives have more than 50% support in every single part of the country except Quebec, right? Mm-hmm. And that is a massive advantage for the Conservatives. And even in the province of Quebec, they're basically tied for second with the Liberals behind the Bloc Québécois. So, you look at this significant lead nationally. If we take Quebec out of the equation, the Conservative advantage is even more massive. And it speaks to the pressure that Justin Trudeau is under right now to resign, and also the worry that many Liberals have that they could just get crushed in the next federal election.
And are these, like Mendicino announcing he's not seeking re-election, all these former cabinet and cabinet ministers saying they're not going to run again, does that have an impact on those numbers as well?
Well, it has an accumulation effect, Roger. It's kind of like death by 1,000 paper cuts. And why don't we just squeeze a little lemon on top of that every time, a former senior Liberal like Mendicino decides to not run in the next federal election. So right now, the narrative is nobody wants to run for this guy. Like, who's stepping forward to run as a new individual under Justin Trudeau? Roger, are we hearing crickets? I think they're crickets playing right now. And the thing is that the narrative is that the Liberals significantly trail the Conservatives. Justin Trudeau has no political coattails, not even a political coat. People are leaving and not running and not reoffering to run under the Liberal banner. And right now, it's almost like a countdown to when he might step down.
And the tracking shows that there's just that continued decline. Even with all the goodies that the Liberals have tried to present, it's not moving the meter, is it?
Yeah, I think we're at the point now, Roger, where the only thing left for the Liberals to try to get back in the game, not saying they'd even be competitive, is to change the leader. Because they've tried everything else from a policy perspective, messaging. They've tried attacking Pierre Poilievre, attack ads, all that kind of stuff. None of it's stuck and none of it's worked. The only thing left is to change the leader.
It'll be interesting to see, because I know apparently Mark Carney has been kind of sending out some feelers again that he may be interested in running. But boy, oh boy, they got a big plate there that they've got to deal with. And the NDP's not benefiting from this that much, are they?
Yeah, what we've seen is negative pressure on support for the New Democrats. We're in the teens. And, for them, at around 17%, that's not good. What they want, at least, is to be closer. And, even when it comes to who Canadians would prefer as prime minister, Pierre Poilievre having a pretty significant advantage. I think about 40% of Canadians would give him a tip of the hat as the person they would prefer as prime minister. He's up 5 points in the last 4 weeks. Justin Trudeau's 23 points back at 17 and Jagmeet Singh at 14. So, what's transpired over the last 3 to 4 weeks, why don't we call it before Freeland and after Freeland? The after Freeland period has been bad for Justin Trudeau. It's been bad for the Liberals and the Conservatives right now. If they had wind in the sails before, it's like turbo wind now with a massive advantage, especially when you look at all the places across the country outside of the province of Quebec.
And we're almost out of time, but the economy and jobs, again, those are the big concerns, aren't they?
Yeah, and it speaks to Pierre Poilievre needing to focus on economy and the jobs as a top national issue of concern. That's at the top. Inflation is at the top also. So, look at those two things. 3 out of every 10 Canadians want to hear about jobs in the economy and how to fight inflation. So for the Liberals, I don't even think if they talked about those issues, it would really help at this particular point in time. They really have to look at a leadership reset. If they don't look at a leadership reset, Roger, we may be looking at, it could be like 1984. And I'm not talking about George Orwell's book, but 1984, where they were down to 40 seats. And defeated by a big Brian Mulroney progressive conservative blue wave.
Okay, Nick, thank you as always for your insights, sir. Appreciate it.
Take it easy.